Charles, it's way past your bedtime.
The story of The Conjuring unfolds in a quiet, rural setting where an ordinary family hopes to start a peaceful new chapter in their lives. The Perron family moves into a large, old farmhouse surrounded by open land and dense woods. At first, the house seems like the perfect place for a fresh beginning, offering space, privacy, and the promise of a calm life away from the noise of the city. However, not long after settling in, the family begins experiencing strange events that slowly turn their dream home into a place filled with fear and uncertainty. What initially appears to be harmless noises and minor disturbances gradually grows into something far more disturbing. The family consists of 2 loving parents and their 5 daughters, each adjusting to life in the unfamiliar house. During the first few nights, small but unsettling occurrences begin to appear. Doors creak open by themselves, strange knocking sounds echo through the walls, and objects sometimes move without explanation. At first, the family dismisses these events as normal sounds from an old building. After all, the house is large, aged, and located in an isolated area where unusual noises can easily be misunderstood. Yet, as the days pass, the strange activity begins happening more frequently, and it becomes harder to ignore. One of the daughters starts noticing something unusual every night at exactly the same time. She wakes up suddenly, feeling as if someone is watching her. The air feels cold, and the silence in the house becomes heavy and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, another daughter claims to hear whispers coming from the dark corners of the rooms. These whispers are faint but unsettling, making the children afraid to sleep alone. Their parents try to reassure them, believing that their fears may simply be the result of adjusting to a new home. But the house continues revealing more disturbing signs. One morning, the mother wakes up with unexplained bruises on her body, even though she cannot remember injuring herself. At the same time, the family dog refuses to enter the house and behaves with intense fear whenever it approaches the front door. Animals often sense danger long before humans do, and the dog's behavior becomes one of the first warnings that something unnatural may exist inside the home. The tension grows as the supernatural disturbances begin escalating. Clocks inside the house mysteriously stop at the same early morning hour. Loud banging sounds echo through the walls late at night, sometimes come the basement, a dark and rarely used part of the house that immediately gives everyone an uneasy feeling. The daughters begin sleeping in the same room for comfort, afraid of what they might encounter if they stay alone. Eventually, the mother decides to investigate the basement after hearing strange noises coming from below. The basement is dark, dusty, and filled with forgotten objects left behind by previous residents. As she explores the space, a sudden feeling of dread overwhelms her, as if the house itself is hiding something terrible beneath its quiet appearance. From that moment on, the activity inside the home becomes far more aggressive and frightening. Desperate for answers, the family turns to paranormal investigators who have spent years studying supernatural phenomena. These investigators are known for helping families who believe their homes are haunted by spirits. After hearing the Perron family's story, they agree to visit the farmhouse and conduct an investigation to determine what might be causing the terrifying events. Upon arriving at the house, the investigators quickly sense that something is wrong. The atmosphere inside the building feels heavy and oppressive, as though an unseen presence is watching every movement. Using special equipment designed to detect paranormal activity, they begin exploring each room carefully, documenting unusual sounds, temperature changes, and unexplained movements. As the investigation continues, they discover disturbing information about the history of the property. The land on which the farmhouse stands has witnessed many tragedies over the years. Former residents experienced mysterious deaths, disappearances, and violent events that left a dark imprint on the location. This troubled past may have created a gateway for restless spirits that never truly left the area. The investigators soon realize that the Perron family is not simply dealing with harmless ghostly activity. Something far more sinister may be present within the house. Certain spirits are capable of influencing the emotions and actions of the living, feeding on fear and growing stronger over time. The longer the family remains in the house, the more powerful this unseen force appears to become. As days pass, the supernatural presence begins targeting the mother more aggressively. She experiences terrifying visions and moments where she seems disconnected from reality. Her behavior sometimes changes suddenly, as if another personality is trying to take control. The investigators begin to suspect that a malevolent entity may be attempting to possess her completely. The family becomes trapped in a terrifying situation. Leaving the house is not as simple as walking away, because the spiritual attachment appears to follow them wherever they go. Fear spreads throughout the household as each member begins experiencing their own disturbing encounters. Some hear voices calling their names, while others feel invisible hands touching them in the darkness. The investigators know that confronting such a powerful entity requires careful preparation. They gather evidence, document the paranormal events, and study the history of the house in greater detail. Each discovery leads them closer to understanding the identity of the dark spirit responsible for the haunting. Meanwhile, the supernatural disturbances reach their most dangerous stage. Furniture moves violently, doors slam shut without warning, and chilling voices echo through the halls late at night. The once peaceful farmhouse now feels like a prison controlled by an invisible force that refuses to let the family escape. Despite the growing danger, the investigators refuse to abandon the Perron family. They believe that confronting the spirit directly may be the only way to free the house from its grip. However, such confrontations are extremely risky and require tremendous courage and faith. As the final confrontation approaches, the tension becomes almost unbearable. The house itself seems to react to the presence of those trying to challenge the dark force. Lights flicker violently, shadows stretch across the walls, and the temperature inside the rooms drops suddenly. During the terrifying climax, the investigators attempt to break the entity's hold over the family before it can claim another victim. The struggle that follows is intense, emotional, and filled with moments where hope seems almost lost. The fate of the family depends on whether the investigators can weaken the spirit before it gains complete control. In the end, the horrifying events leave a lasting impact on everyone involved. The experience proves that some places hold memories of darkness that cannot easily be erased. Even after the confrontation ends, the emotional scars remain, reminding those who lived through it that certain mysteries of the supernatural world may never be fully understood. The story ultimately reveals how fear, faith, and courage collide when ordinary people face forces beyond their comprehension. What began as a peaceful move into a countryside home turned into a nightmare that tested the strength of an entire family. The events surrounding the farmhouse serve as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying horrors are not the ones we can see, but the ones that hide quietly in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves.